Hello, everyone. Today I'm going to share with you some news during this week. The first one is very interesting. Is the website Top Class Actions, and it's written by Melissa Lafreniere. So, okay, so let's dive into the news. This news talks about the contracting prison company called Global Tail Link Corp. They are going to provide service to their 1.1 million inmates in the jail across the United States. And pretty much, let me share with you, they are going to, give inmates brief test of freedom. So yeah, and if you can take a look about the news at vice.com, it's written by Joseph Cox. So about this news, the brief about this news is that GTC called it's Global Tail Link Corporation. Pretty much this is like a third party organization to do all the prison or inmates or manage supervising all the inmates. Yeah, the government kind of contract this big corporation, and pretty much in this article it talks about they are going to integrate virtual reality into prison, which means that because it's very interesting that prison, this types of stuff, this area and the contracting company wants to make money out of prison. In Taiwan or in other country, the majority of the countries, usually prison belongs or will be managed by government. But in United States, the interesting phenomena is that usually it's contracting out to the private organization. And as for private commercial organization, they want to profit, right? Because it's a business, right? So pretty much they, before I read the news in Top Class Action, it talks about actually GTL, this corporation, that the government contract them out to manage all the prison, civilians. Or hello, Stephanie. Do you want to raise your hand so I can add you to, so you can talk or something? Do you want to just like raise your hand? Or yeah, great. Hello, Stephanie.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, thank you.
I had a little difficulty figuring out how to get in.
Yes, I totally understand. I mean, like I feel like Clubhouse, they should make their interface much easier for people to find, like where's the link. Yeah, and yeah, I'm happy you are here. Thank you so much. Usually there will be like one or two people join me, or sometimes just like me talking to myself. But I love having a routine, and just it feels, for me it's like a routine thing. So
wonderful.
Yeah, cool. So today's topic, let me kind of like find repeat the topic to you. Pretty much today's topics, we will cover like 2 to 3 VR or AR or XR related topics. And then later on, after each news, you can share your opinions, and maybe you can mute yourself right now, and then once you once you want to talk, you can unmute yourself. Yeah, so just because it's audio experience. So pretty much I will share the probably 2 to 3 topics related to XR, and then after every story or every news being shared, and we can discuss a little bit about how you think or what you see related to the news. Yeah, so the first one is very interesting. We all know that American government kind of like contracting out of the prison business to the profitable, organization or commercial organization. And there's a company called Global Tailink Corporation, GTL. They kind of trying to monetize their prison business, integrate with virtual reality. And how they are going to do it, this news is vice.com, vice.com. And the title is called Prison Company Patents VR to give inmates brief test of freedom. So pretty much they are going to, sell the service inside virtual reality by wearing the, device. The inmates will feel a sense of freedom just by using the VR headset. I think this is a kind of like a brilliant idea, right? But this company, GTC, was notorious for overcharging, trying to monetize too hard on their inmates. For example, before I read another news about they got lawsuit to, the family friends of the inmates about they charge 100 times more phone bills, like the phone call. For example, if the phone call for 15 minutes is like, I would say, I don't know, $10 or something, right? And they charge like 100 times more than the marketplace for the inmates having a phone call to their friends and family. So they got the lawsuit for the corruption, right? Because this is kind of like not really good performance. But right now they are doing trying to sell the VR experience for inmates. And then they even did a small advertising, inside the article and say, oh, do you have any ideas about how to monetize in prison business? Just call us and contact us, which I think is very interesting because, usually prison or, jail or, those types of crime stuff, it feels like you shouldn't monetize it through this business. It's kind of like, the moral stuff. But yeah, it seems like because it's a business, so they want to monetize. And if you scroll down, you can see pretty much they even patent the whole device. For example, how virtual reality can, sync out and get make inmates feel a sense of freedom, or, by looking at all the VR softwares, and the prison feels like calm and peaceful. Yeah, so using VR, because they only can stay inside jail, they couldn't get out. So VR is perfect for them to feel like they have some fresh air. And later on, they are going to, put some punishment inside VR headset, which means that instead of using physical punishment, they are going to implement some VR punishment software, like some software inside VR for inmates to feel being punished inside jail. Yeah, I don't know how legal or moral this is, but it is happening. So do you have any thoughts or any comments for this news? Yeah, Stephen, you can unmute yourself and feel free to share your thoughts.
Hi. Yeah, I think it's actually, this is really interesting. This is the first time that I've heard about this technology being used in prisons. I actually just looked up one of the articles on Vice that you had just mentioned. But in a sense, I feel like it's, well, one thing is I don't agree with the charges. I don't know if that's really so ethical to be charging individuals that much money. especially like you said, 100 times more for this type of service. So I feel, bringing this type of technology into prisons would be nice, especially, there are a wide range of inmates depending on their, physical abilities, their vision, just their mobility. So to be able to get a sense of freedom in that way, I think would help improve people's quality of life. But the last thing that you stated as well was quite disturbing. I don't know how ethical or moral it is to be able to punish inmates with this technology as well, especially since although it would be especially curated program that this company would develop, but I don't know to what extent or like what boundaries they would have in creating these types of punishments for the inmates. This is something I actually would like to look into more. I feel like there are benefits to it, but it would have to be like highly regulated to make sure it doesn't cause any severe type of damage or trauma to the customers.
Yeah, totally agree, because I think this one, I mean, I feel like something good and something bad about it will happen. But I think since, the technology is going so fast, right? I feel like every time when there's a technology happen, right? And then since it's so advanced, it actually VR has been around probably more than 10 years, but it's still like a first time, or this is also my first time to know that they are integrating VR into prison system. So I feel like, wow, it might be good and might be bad, because this morning I just read a news that I forgot which country, but someone, I think Israel or somewhere Middle East, they use spoon, the inmates use one spoon, and then, kind of like digging a hole, and they prison break, and then they succeed. And, in another country, they feel like, wow, it's so they feel proud because their people are so smart and, use one spoon and, dig a big hole, and then, kind of prison break successfully. But in another country, it seems like two countries were fighting in Middle East somewhere. And then one kind of get their leaders or somewhere soldiers, and the soldier kind of like use one spoon and dig a small hole and get out and get back to their original country. It's like that. And I was surprised because one little spoon, you can dig a hole. How about a device, right? VR device, there are so many good stuff there. For example, like chips, right? Chips, by doing chips, you probably can come up with some bombs. I don't know, maybe I was wrong. But you see, like there are some plastics, right? And definitely like in the headset, there are so many parts that can, make something, and probably it might be much easier for them to prison break just by getting that device inside their little cell, right? And also, I think the punishment, I think the freedom might be good, because I feel like, sitting in the little room and doing nothing is really boring. So maybe VR can help them. But also, if you do a punishment, it's like a mentally torture, right? For example, if physically torture, right, it might be, once your body recover, you kind of feel like fine. But if it is like a mentally torture you or make you feel guilt, I'm afraid that if the person get out of jail, he or she might be even worse, because it got the inmates got the mentally tortured. So I don't really know about that, and I wish there will be. I wish there are some researchers and do some research about the all the VR related to the inmates. Maybe help them to become a good person instead of using VR to torture them. That might be a good idea. Yeah, so this is this news. And the second news is medical press. If you go to medical express, and then the title is called "What the Brain Shows: The Benefits of Virtual Reality in Creative Arts Therapies." And so this is in the neuroscience article. So pretty much in short, in this article, it talks about VR can definitely help people to do more like, I would say, prefrontal cortex. They kind of like can help people to, to release their stress. And then in this article, it talks about some, for example, like for arts therapy in neuroscience, it helps to treat the conditions such as trauma, phobias, and eating disorders. So pretty much in this research, they put people inside like the tilt brush, right? Tilt brush, if you play VR games before, you probably know that tilt brush is kind of like putting you in a 3D space, and you have a lot of brush, and you start creating, like a 3D space and using your brush, and all the brush you create or all the line or art you create will be 3D, right? And usually you can export to, to your computer and make it, a real 3D environment. So that's kind of like an art therapy. So they put, like they kind of have two like A/B testing. Like one will be more like boring task, right? Another one will be more like a self-expressing task. And they find out that actually the self-expressing one, which is like tilt brush, it can reduce, the PFC, which is the prefrontal cortex. It can kind of reduce that load and also induce relaxation and flow. Flow means that once you are master in doing something, right, you are in a flow, right? So so it's very interesting to see that, like people use tint brush or like some 3D, like 3D software or VR software to help patients to overcome their trauma, phobia, and eating disorders by doing a lot of self-expression projects inside inside the VR space. And the participants of the study included 24 adults, like 18 women and 6 men. I think woman probably has more stress. Yeah. So I think it's very interesting to see like the results that they find out that how drawing in 3D or in VR space can potentially be used in kind of like helping them to coordinate or networking, like can help brain networking well in each parts of the brains. So I find out this article is very interesting because I think art therapy, right? Art therapy can help, like by drawing something, it can really relax people's anxiety and kind of getting in the flow state. However, by using VR, because it's more immersive, right? It's kind of like when you are in VR, you get out of your reality a little bit. And by also integrate with sense of smell, you can totally immerse yourself in another area, which can, you can kind of detach to the anxiety in the reality, but immerse to another brand new world. So it's definitely kind of help your brain to, deal with different tasks as well. So so I think those are pretty good. Yeah, and let's take a look of the third third one. The third one is on Washington Post. And the title is called How Virtual Reality Therapy Can Help Make Bad Memories More Manageable. Okay, so this article was written by Kenneth Rosen on the Washington Post. Okay, so in this article, it talks about Jonathan. He just came back from the mission in Afghanistan and Iraq like 5 years ago. He couldn't really manage his real life because the war is kind of have the negative influence in his real life. And then by doing the VR therapy, he started to make a progress for his behavior and be kind of like he start kind of like change his behavior. So in this article, it says that studies suggest the VR treatment may be helpful for treating PTSD or some other phobias or some other traumas, yes, or anxiety disorder. Yeah, so pretty much I would say this is another findings for people to get kind of like for therapists to start getting into VR and help us to solve our problems, right? And then it's very interesting that by immerse yourself into VR. And I saw one of the PTSD program. It's like if you when you wear the headset, right? At the beginning, because the veteran just came back from the war, so they're feeling they are still feeling like they are in a war, right? Because they get used to. So in the VR headset, it's like still you are kind of closely watching the war, right? And then probably after few weeks, hello, Ed, do you want to raise your hand so I can add you to the speaker stage? Hello. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, it's fine. Yeah. So let me recap. Today's news, the last news is that VR, how virtual reality therapy can help make bad memories more manageable. Yeah. So pretty much in this news, it talks about like how PTSD being kind of like is a can be treated, can be like PTSD can be improved by VR therapies. Thank you for joining me today. We have two guests that jump in and jump off sometimes, but and I hope you enjoy today's news. Today's news there are a lot of mental or neuroscience and some prison topics, and I find out it's very interesting. And for me, the reason I'm doing this is because I think it's very interesting to keep it a routine, right? And then for me and for my audience to understand more about VR. So feel free to join the clubhouse, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.